What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the But What Do We Know podcast. I'm Antonio, and Brady is not here this week. He has some prior engagements. But with me today, I still have Alec,
Hello.
Sean,
Hey, yo, yo, yo.
Sam,
Howdy doodly, mister.
and Tim.
What's going on?
So, to get things started off, I got a question for you, Alec.
Yes.
Why am I friends with you?
Bam.
That's a good question. When did we actually meet?
I
Wasn't
think
it freshman year in
I think biology.
improvised explosive device
Okay,
class?
I'm still not convinced you were in that class with me.
I was.
I have literally zero recollection of you existing before biology. I think also freshman year.
Wait a minute. What class?
Improvised
Oh,
explosive device class.
Introduction to
IED.
Engineering Design. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
I got it.
that one. Yeah. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, basically. But no, I'm pretty sure where we actually got to be friends was biology with Miss Erickson.
Now,
Oh, man.
was that class before or after IED? I think it was before.
Probably, but I still don't think you were in my IED class.
We were in the class with Stove Master L.
Yeah, and like you
and
know everything about the
Sam
class and everything else,
I
but
wasn't
I
in that
still don't
class.
think you were there.
Okay, that's all right. But yeah, no, biology with Mrs. Erickson. She was the best.
And there was that one time with the time we got lectured about making insensitive jokes because
Oh gosh, what an idiot Dalton was.
because he made a joke that was perfectly fine, and then Miss Erickson goes, "Oh, what are all you
Kevin-
guys laughing about?" And we're all, "Oh, nothing, whatever." And she was about to just be like, "Oh, okay." And then Dalton was like, "Oh, yeah, no, nothing. It was just a Jew joke." Which
Oh
it
my gosh.
wasn't. And like for some
No,
reason
it was Kevin's joke. Kevin said a racially charged joke about Hispanic people.
Oh, man, that's the
And
best
it was hilarious, but it wasn't really that bad. But Dalton's first thought was that saying it was a Jew joke would somehow make it better or more okay.
So we spent that entire class getting lectured about
Oh
how we shouldn't make jokes about Jewish people.
she brutalized him, and we were this was freshman year,
Yeah.
and she just went to town on us. It was pretty bad.
Man.
Funnily enough, she was also probably one of my favorite teachers, and the teacher that wrote my my recommendation for college.
Hmm.
Yes.
I don't think I knew that, but oh.
Yeah, no, she wrote my recommendation because I ended up taking a bunch of AP classes with her.
Right.
She was really
Oh,
cool.
I wish I was smart like Alec.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I was $100,000 in debt like Alec.
No, I'm just
Wish
too.
I was
Wait,
That's funny.
Sean,
sister like Alec.
Sean, you are $100,000 in debt. It's just to snap on.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm proud of it.
Dude,
I
he needs this utensil. He needs this
Utensils.
My-
Sean,
my
Sean just
cooking
can't get enough of
utensils.
those forks and knives, dude.
Honestly, I did just get a Matco steak knife set,
Honestly,
so it's
why
funny
would
to
you say that right now? That is
Well,
really not helping your case. Not
It
gonna
was
lie.
$80 for this gorgeous stainless steel.
$80 for some
Look,
knives.
Have you
For
ever
this
seen
gorgeous
how much
set.
a nice set of steak knives are? They are like very expensive, and these happen to be shaped like wrenches, and it's pretty cool.
Oh, so they're
Oh
steak
my
knives, but they're
gosh.
So are they
shaped like
even
something
effective?
that's not
they're
a
actually-
steak knife.
They're actually
So can
fantastic.
they cut like a knife, or are they just
Yeah.
wrenches?
Do they cut
Yeah.
like a wrench?
I've used them. I bought them
He's
4
just
days
beating
ago.
a piece of meat with a wrench.
He just ordered a set of wrenches. This
Well,
looks
they
great in the
could.
kitchen.
I
Dude, check
mean,
out these new knives I got.
if I wasn't worried about slicing my hand open, I could also use them as a wrench. But like the handle is the
Yeah, that's a
wrench
good point.
part.
Well, are
So
you afraid of
the other
slicing your
end.
hand open?
Yeah,
I
honestly,
mean,
Sean, just make your hands just like bricks by having so much calluses on it that you don't have to worry about it.
they basically are. My hands are just constantly in pain. I'm gonna cry about it later, like I do every night.
That might be arthritis.
Yeah, I'm
I
just
think
9
Sean has
years
carpal
old.
tunnel.
Yeah.
All right, so
But real quick,
continue, Sean.
yeah, if you don't mind, I mean, yeah, you're talking about debt. I was thinking about it the other day, and I am literally paying a mortgage to the Snap-on guy. I pay that guy $1,300 a month.
Okay, can you
Holy
just
cow!
hold on? Explain what Snap-on is.
It's
Yeah, I
a
have no.
it's a tool company, so I buy tools for my job.
What
Well,
aren't you
okay,
getting
he
at?
buys tools and puts them on his tab, and now he's like actually thousands of dollars in debt.
I mean,
This is
yeah,
the guy
but
who wanted to like get a house together.
Oh, you
So
couldn't
I'm
even
glad I
pay.
said no.
what are you talking
Uh,
about? All right, you guys are acting like it's a bad thing. I'm having it. All
Dude,
right,
he's just trying
it
to build
started
credit.
out. I was at exactly. I was at 12,000, which I had already. I planned it all out. Right, I knew I was going to be putting myself in this debt because I can afford it right now. I'm still living with mom and pa. Right, I pay this
Mhm.
guy 250, $300 a week. Um,
He
and
beats me
then
up every other week.
and then I'm gonna have it paid off within 6 months. So I had started out with 12 grand. I'm down to like 5 grand, and
Okay.
and once it's all said and done, I have my toolbox, which is awfully nice if I do say so myself. All my tools that I need, and then I'll be able to buy a house.
What's like
Okay.
a
So,
high,
As
a
long as you
high
can stay on top of it,
Like,
dude.
what kind of house we talk about? Like a
risk,
like
low yield investment. That's what
honestly,
it is.
my dream house. Oh man,
Oh
Oh
man.
no!
that
You're
was
clearly not old
weird.
enough for one yet.
My dream. I guess I shouldn't say house. Living arrangement, I guess you could
Shack.
say. You
Lean
know that
to.
the
Shack in the
most
woods.
expensive. You know the most expensive apartment in GTA 5,
Yeah.
the one that's like a penthouse suite, and it's like, contemporary, and everything is square, and like you got
Yeah, it's
stainless
in a
steel and
terrible
dark
neighborhood in
colors.
Baltimore.
I mean, yeah, but if it's like GTA 5, that shouldn't really be a problem because I would be the terrible neighbor.
There.
Well,
You know?
also
That's true.
because you would own a rocket launcher.
Yeah,
And a minigun.
yeah, an air uh an anti-air rocket launcher.
and then
Yeah.
somehow you can get
A military jet and a tank.
you can get
Yeah,
your
just
car exploded and then only pay like $100 for a brand new car.
do you remember when all those people were getting arrested for that game, like for cheating
Oh, I
on
know where this
GTA
is going.
Online? Do you
Yeah.
guys remember that? Do you
I
see
do,
the
because
news?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of wild. And frankly, for a while there, I was a little bit worried because I remember I did that for a little bit, you know?
Yeah,
So,
same here. I unlocked a lot of stuff and I never got
Yeah.
any repercussions.
yeah.
Well, you know what they say, Tim.
FBI, open
If you
up.
can't do the crime, or if you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
So they're listening right
Can't
now.
do the crime. Don't do the time.
Like, we're gonna have to take away all your money.
Yeah, Tim.
in
honestly,
game. I don't know if I
you've
can
been
handle that.
cheating
I
in
don't-
real life. You've been duplicating cars and selling them.
I think people went to prison. People
Really?
duplicating cars in GTA. They went to jail for like 6 months.
I don't
It's a
know.
heinous crime, dude.
All right, hold on.
I don't
Are we
know.
going anywhere with this tangent, or do we
Now
want to
it's
go back to
thought-
meeting each other?
I thought Tangis was a citrus fruit.
It's a tangerine.
No, those are lemons.
No, wait, no, that's
Yeah,
just
it's oranges.
tuberculosis.
Well, I
I
don't know.
thought
Do
a
we want to
tangerine
get back
was
to
that percussion
best fruit.
that?
Lean.
So let's see. Let's see. Antonio, yeah, we met through biology, and from what I believe, IED freshman year. I've known some of you guys a little bit longer than that, though.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, like Alex.
Alex.
Timmy, we go
Let's
way
talk
back.
let's talk about first grade in Miss McDermott's class.
Wait, was I in Miss McDermott's? Wait, who's Miss
Yeah,
McDermott?
she started as our teacher, and then we had like 2 other teachers after her. It ended up being like Cunningham or whatever.
Okay,
first
yes,
grade?
I do remember her. Did
I was
she
in
We
that
came?
started, we
class.
started
That
the year
wasn't
with
the teacher.
McDermott.
Oh,
No.
okay. Okay,
We
I
had Miss
definitely don't remember that.
Richmond.
I just remember Cunningham because her name, because I was a small, inept child, and I just was fascinated with her name because it sounded
Same.
like cutting ham.
Yeah,
same.
I remember that.
I
Same.
didn't even have her as a teacher. I thought her name was cool.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
basically, the
Wow.
only thing I remember about Miss McDermott, who was our first teacher, was she was really strict, especially to me. Something to
she
do.
was
We
just
had like that stoplight system for disciplining, and I remember I'd get on red.
Oh yes,
Specifically,
we had the
one time,
cards. Go
specifically
flip
one
your
time,
card.
I had a lunchbox with a big cooler in it, and I guess I kind of bludgeoned Alex. Alex D. Didn't
Okay.
really realize what I was
Yes.
doing. I kind of just pummeled him with it,
Bludgeoned him.
pulverized him, if you will. And yeah, I got in some serious trouble. I had to flip my card to red. It was a tough time.
I
I
think
remember
I
I couldn't
spent.
play video games for a whole weekend because of that. So that just shows
Jeez.
you
Yeah,
assaulting
that was
someone and you can't play video games for a weekend.
Dude,
That
that
was
hurts.
And
feel
then
that.
there's the time that a baby bird hatched in your pocket, but you can talk about that.
I do. Okay. Would you like to talk about it first, and then I can give what I
I'll tell
thought
you
after
what
that?
I'll tell you what I can remember from my first grade point of view. So basically, I would go to the bathroom for T minus 15 minutes because I had a rotten oyster for lunch.
a
Right.
what?
I'm bullshitting. All right,
Oh.
so I come back and there's just pandemonium. All these kids like left the class to like get a drink of water, and they're like, "What was that thing?" like some shell and some placenta on the ground, I guess,
Oh my.
and just a bird hopping around, and the teacher kind of like trying to catch it, and then Alec with his head down on his desk crying.
Okay.
I thought that was just every day in first grade.
What happened?
I thought that was every day in first grade with Alex.
That is
But it
what
was kind of
happened.
close. It was kind of close, but not at all.
All right, well,
So,
tell your point of view.
Were you crying, though,
Okay.
Alex?
Yeah, let's hear
Look, there
your point of
wasn't
view, Alex.
there wasn't bird and egg innards strewn about the class. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, but he
Oh,
was
no,
actually crying on his
There's
desk.
definitely egg.
Wait,
No, I probably was.
To be
too. I was
honest,
pretty.
Antonio, I
pretty
remember him doing that
heartbroken.
every day until like the last day of high
Yeah,
school.
well, I'd
He
still
got
do
picked
it
on
every
really
night,
bad for his
so let's
ugliness.
continue.
Well, let's kiss and make up.
So,
Oh, like that song by Katy Perry.
No, I was talking about me and you having butt sex.
Wait,
Just
no.
in general.
Fireworks.
nice. Okay, so I still am. I love animals. Okay,
He really
I
does.
think they're the coolest thing ever. And when I was growing up, I like
Wink, wink.
was all about Animal Planet. I'd watch it all the time, and I was really big into Steve Irwin, the Crocodile Hunter, because all of his shows were still running then, and yeah, he was basically my idol. I would just basically run around and catch anything that moved, basically, because it was just I don't know, it was just so cool and fun, and I knew a lot about animals because of it. I learned a whole bunch of about animals, and so let's see. This is oh man, first grade me. So there are these type of birds. They're called plovers. You've probably seen them at the beach. They're the little birds that like to run along the surf with very long beaks, and they just follow the surf in and out in like little groups. I'm sure people have seen them before. They're pretty common.
They're the little
There's a
stupid
type of
birds that aren't seagulls at the beach.
Yeah.
yes, which makes them infinitely better than seagulls.
Birds.
But okay, so this type of bird
Oh no.
lives in our area. It's pretty widespread. It's called a killdeer. is very interesting. I don't know how it has that name. It's called a killdeer. It's an incredibly wacky
Savages.
bird. It's a plover, so it's small, has a long beak, runs around. It lays its nests on the ground, and
Hardly seems efficient.
yeah, it's pretty.
Well,
They're
yeah, because
real
then little
interesting birds.
fucks like first grade Alec come around and steal its children.
Oh man, it's
Yeah, that's what I'm
it's
saying,
pretty.
man. What a
I'm pretty
jerk.
impressed thinking about it. So like, because they're ground nesting birds, their eggs are camouflaged, and also what these birds will do, which is really interesting, is in order to keep predators away from their nests, what they'll do is they'll fake having an injury. So they'll be running on the ground and act as if they have a broken wing to lure predators away from their nests. And then, just take off whenever they're in any actual danger. And they're really loud too.
How
And
does hold on,
so,
wait. How does acting injured uh repel predators?
no,
Like
it
they'll be
lures the
away.
predators to them,
Oh, away.
and
Okay, I
and they
apologize.
lure them away from the nest. Yeah, yes. Um, and so let's see. And so in my backyard, it's pretty big backyard, and it's basically down a slope, and it's all grass. But on the edge of our there's like this kind of like small patch of farm field, and it's got this real long grass, and it's just dirt and long hay grass basically. Um, there I figured out, I basically triangulated to figure out, like, using the birds feigning injury to figure out where the nest was in this giant field of long grass. And like, these eggs are probably like the size of your thumb, if not smaller, maybe your thumbnail. They're pretty small. But I had known that the killdeer, that a nest was near because of how they acted when I was running around through my backyard. So basically, I just like hunted the nest down. I actually found it, and it's literally just like three tiny eggs the size of your thumbnail in a divot, and they just are camouflaged because they look exactly like the ground. And I found them, and I was like, "Oh man, this is awesome! This is cool." Those birds have done messed up now, and so
You're gonna bite the head
being a
off.
little animal nerd, I went and took my little cassette camcorder that we had, and I took it out there and basically narrated a little documentary on the birds, and then I walked over and filmed the nest and all that stuff. That's
Alec, you were
important
so
for
cute and
later,
quirky.
dude. I am so cute and quirky.
Alec was
Okay,
vlogging him
and
stealing a child.
yes, okay. This is important though.
For a
Okay,
social experiment.
and so I had done this before, and one day I just decided I would take an egg to school with me, and so I woke up for school extra early because I needed time to get dressed and run down to the field, find the nest again, and then cop one of the eggs. And um and so I went and did that one morning, and this is my thinking ahead. I just thought I would just bring the egg to school and just keep it with me in my pocket all day, and then return it once I got home. I
But
can't
his
tell you
plan
why.
was foiled by the snapping of, or the,
I,
This broad. Okay, well, hold on. Before I get angry at
oh,
this
I
girl,
know now.
but
I remember now.
and so I take this egg and I cram it into my pocket, delicately, of course, and I go in and I go to school with it. Everything's fine, real delicate with it. Um, Everything is cool. I get to class. I'm in class. I spend some time in class, hanging out, doing all that stuff. It's cool. Um,
it's cool.
a little partway through class, though, I start hearing noises from my pocket, and this bird, no joke, hatched in my pocket and then was chirping and making noises. from inside my pocket. And oh goodness. And this broad who sat across from me at our little table group, I'll say her name's Marina. We'll leave it at that.
Actually,
This
my name's
I went
Yeah.
and I confided
It's a
with
shark.
her as a friend that that I had this bird in my pocket, and that, well, that was literally it. I just told her I had the bird in my pocket and to not tell the teacher. She literally couldn't even, follow that. And she told the teacher, and I got in trouble, and they ended up bringing the bird. They put it in a little red Solo cup and brought it to the front office. And they called my mom, told them, and my mom drove. I think she was just home at the time. She drove from home to the school to pick up this bird that I had just hatched in my pocket, and so she got home, and she remembered that I had taken that video using the camcorder and made that little documentary with it, and using the recorder's video, she retraced my steps and basically followed me step for step to the nest. And she actually was able to put that little baby hatched bird back into its nest on the ground, which is literally just dirt, and was able to successfully put it back. But yeah, that was that.
I want to add something to Alec as a younger child. Alec used to be really into dinosaurs. So
Oh.
when we would go up to the green top and like run the mile run like once every like few months
That was fun.
in circles, and then I see Alec running with his arms up like a T-Rex, and he would scream out like like a dinosaur, like
Dude, I was so in.
through it.
Oh
awesome.
man, I
Yeah,
was a
great.
dinosaur for most of my my childhood.
Dude,
I honestly, genuinely believed and acted like a dinosaur.
Yeah, you did. It was hilarious. I don't remember much from elementary school, but that you screaming out like a dinosaur and running like one.
With my arms tucked into my body, like like some tiny
that will,
bird.
That will always stay with me. Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna say it reminds you of like when we played Fortnite during the summer, and then the roar dance thing that
Oh,
we used
yeah.
to do.
That's
Don't let
funny.
him roar. But yeah,
Yeah,
continue.
with Diego.
I remember
Yeah,
always having
and
to sit
Ryan,
on the
yeah.
curb in elementary school.
Same dude.
Wait, dude,
Me
what?
and, me and that kid Joey.
Oh my gosh.
I always
And
get my cards to red with that kid.
And then we just sit there, and he'd look at me, and he'll go, "Hey, check this out," and just get up from the curb and like leave.
Yeah, that was our like
So,
timeout. That was our
yeah.
punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to sit on the curb for 5 minutes.
I
That
don't
was
think-
it.
Yeah, during recess. Oh,
Well,
goodness.
they made
Missed
him
the whole
sit on the
recess.
curb literally every recess, every day. It was, I don't know what he did. I know he was kind of a bastard. I guess he was a little bastard, and
Was.
and the teachers, they hated him, and they made him sit on that curb every single day. And every single day he would just sit there, and then when they weren't looking, he'd just get up and walk away. And thinking about it, like, I guess if you're destined to be in that situation, right? Like if you're imprisoned, right? And the worst thing that's going to happen if you escape is they're just going to put you back. Why wouldn't you just keep escaping?
So you wouldn't have the burden of being caught by the authorities every single moment of your life.
But I mean,
dude,
if you're going to be spending life in there anyhow,
It's
But
either
like, if
that
you
or
just
have the
don't get in trouble, so
humiliation
you
of sitting
don't
on
have
the
to do
curb.
that.
it was. I think he had a.
Okay, this Joey kid. Within 5 minutes of meeting him, you immediately could tell that he was the kind of kid who'd spend his life in jail. That
Yeah, I
he'd become
think
a criminal and
he
break the law.
probably is in jail now. That'd be something
No,
interesting to look up.
I went to high school with him because he went
Yeah,
with me and not with you guys, and he's had all sorts of issues. He's
Oh,
been
has
to
he? I
really
thought he
good
did. I
jail.
thought he was basically a lot better once he got into high school, but that's unfortunate.
No, he ran in with all the complete losers, the total yos of Urbana.
That's darn. That's a rootin' tootin' shame.
I'm sure he's okay now. Now that he's out of high school, but he's definitely never really cared very much about
Yep.
grades or
Yeah.
anything.
He was a
That's the
rebel
guy.
So
without a cause.
skip school all the time.
Yeah, the rebel. Yeah.
And like I remember in second grade, Alec, you, me, and this Joey kid, we all got along pretty well in Miss Folk's class. She didn't like us
Oh
very much.
man,
Miss Falk.
that old
Yes.
bitch. God, I
She was
hate
pretty.
She hated
She
us.
She was very scary. She was very intimidating, which
I
is
remember-
kind of
She used-
funny because she was very small.
She
You
was.
used to hand out Hershey Kisses every morning. I remember Joey and I took the entire bag
Yeah.
one day. And
No
got in a
way.
We got in a lot of trouble.
Oh man, this is
Uh,
folk. Oh my goodness.
I hated that lady. I remember. One time, we had to get rulers from the back, and we go to get them, and she didn't have enough. We ran out, and we were one short. And the one person that was, the last person to get up there and get one, it was that kid Luke. And
Oh, no, we
and
know
I
another story
remember,
about that kid.
I remember he goes up to her, and he's like kind of stuttering. He had like a little stutter. And for some
Yeah.
reason, I remember in like elementary school him having like a real deep voice.
He did.
Yeah. So
Dude.
he goes up to her and he's like, and she goes, what is it? Spit it out. And he goes, there's no more rulers. And she looks at him like shocked, and she's like, oh, there's no more rulers, right? Is that what you said? And he just kind of looks at her and goes, yeah, there's no more rulers. And she goes, well, let's just
I
see.
remember this.
Well, let's just see. Let's just see about that. She turns him around, puts her hands on his shoulders from behind him, and starts like walking really fast. She's like, roll, 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 as they're walking towards the bookcase, and he's like leaning back, like trying not to be shoved down to the ground. And they walk up to the bookcase, and there's none in there. But she had another container, like way up on the top shelf, where he obviously wouldn't be able to see it. And she pulls him down. She's like, "What do you think this is?" Like as if he was just supposed to know she was hiding more up there. And he goes, rulers."
Order.
she takes it out and gives it to him. I hated that lady. Then there was she was always doing
Oh, wait. Was that the kid that had dog shit in his pocket?
yeah. Yeah.
He had what?
Yeah, everyone
Dog shit
thought,
in his pocket.
I did not
Oh
understand
my
that.
god.
Yeah, he walks in from recess, and like everyone thought he like shit himself because we sit down for story time, and he just smells awful. Like he smells like literal shit, and we're like looking at him, we're like, "Yo, what is going on here? All right, if you pooped, you got to go down to the nurse. That was protocol." And finally, like after like probably 45 minutes of this horrible stench and everyone looking at him, like knowing it's him, he finally like reaches into his pocket and with his bare hands just pulls out some dog shit he had in there. He had just been walking around. I guess at recess, he just picked up dog crap and put it in his pocket. And he just takes it out and kind of tucks it underneath a table. It was like one of those low seated tables and puts it under there. It's probably still there. But yeah, that was
Oh my
wild.
goodness.
Okay, so I remember in Miss Folk's class we had like a bathroom sign out sheet and then a hall pass, and like whenever someone would come back, everyone would just race over there.
Oh,
yeah.
No lights.
Yeah.
And
Every
so I
time.
remember like once they ran over and like bodied each other, moved some girl out of the way, like he kind of shoved her into the wall, and Miss Falk was like pissed. She's like, "You two could just sit there." Like, lady, I'm gonna piss myself.
I will
Like,
literally piss on the
if somebody like wouldn't flush the toilet, you would like know because they were the last one on the list. So I went in there one time, and there was like a big chicken wing in the toilet. So I look at the last person, and it was this Tyler kid.
Oh, no.
I talked to Miss Falk about it, not really knowing what would happen. And so she just marches over to the other teacher's class because you know how the classes were like shared.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She pulls him over, scolds him in front of the whole class, and tells him to flush the toilet. And he just walks out looking at me like he's gonna like. I'm like, I had no idea that was gonna happen. Miss Falk
It's
doesn't
like
care
that-
at all.
It's like
That's
that
where
fun.
tattling gets you. Like, well, I
Which
didn't
one
really
of you
want to deal with
shits in the
someone's
toilet
chicken
and
wing.
didn't flush it? Disgusting.
Disgusting.
I think on my Wii, I think there's a me in there, a me character that I made after Miss Falk. I made her like 10 years ago, and pretty horrifying. You know, it's got the gray afro and the Skeletor face.
Yeah.
And she's short. She's short and fat with a big giant
Stinky.
sack belly tucked into the jeans, crammed into the jeans. She's walking around with that sack on her front end.
Oh, fuck.
Ouch.
Like
Dude,
kangaroo
that sounds
pouch.
so hard.
It's all right. I can say this because she was kind of a bitch.
Yeah.
I don't
Just a
feel
little
bad
bit.
about this
I
at all.
remember in second grade, we were like, I had the other teacher, Miss, I think it was Vaunus or Penis, something like that.
Miss Vaughn.
Miss
Vaunus? Was
Miss
it
Metter.
Vaunus?
Miss Meter.
Yeah, Miss Vaunus. She was a second grade teacher. I remember like it was after Crazy Hair Day, and I had my hair like all spiked up with dye in it, because that's what every kid did.
Right.
And a freaking clock fell on my head. I was just sitting there in class, and the clock fell off the wall. And I was like, "What just happened?" I was so
gosh.
confused.
Didn't we have
She
them? We had those walls that had the wheels. They were basically just like
Yeah.
dividers that we would use oftentimes.
Yeah.
That would separate the classes.
You know, come to think of it, I should have acted like I was having like a stroke or seizure, and then sued them, and then paid my college tuition.
You just
What?
never have to go to school again.
She was like checking through my head, and since it was just Crazy Hair Day, there was still dye like on my scalp, and
Mm.
my entire scalp was just blood red. She was just like, "Dude, we gotta take you to the nurse." And I was like, "What's wrong?" And she was just like, "Your head's bleeding." I was like, "It doesn't even hurt. What are you talking about?" And I went down the nurse.
Clearly,
The nurse was like, "What happened? Why are you even here?" It was pretty funny. And
There's been some long-term effects. By the way, Antonio hasn't said anything in a while.
Well,
All right.
okay, to be fair, I don't know what you guys are talking about. I wasn't there for that period of time.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what they say.
Oh yeah, you were still waiting in the waiting room.
Yeah, I had
Still
to
in the
wait for
room.
like, what was that, 7 years? No, I went
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
no, I just was a private school prick and didn't know you guys
Yeah.
until high school.
Cool for
Well,
all of us.
I knew Tim before high school. That's because we played hockey together.
Yeah.
Tonsil
Okay,
hockey.
who's this Guido complaining about how his feet hurt? Maybe you were better at hockey and not ugly.
Yeah, and then that hurt me so bad I got better at hockey, but then I stopped playing
My
hockey because
feet
I
still
tore my
hurt.
ACL.
Let's
Tim,
talk about
never mind. I
we
lost
played
it.
last time Antonio and I played hockey together was the morning
No.
after a long night with Sam and Ryan. I met you
That
there,
was
and I was just too my head hurt a little bit, you know. So these kids would these little tiny kids were like.
So first of all, this
trying
wasn't
really
like
hard.
we had a scheduled game. This is like we went to a stick and shoot and decided to play pickup with like 13-year-olds.
Yeah. Okay, so I couldn't really differentiate many directions. I was just not feeling too good. They dangle around me, and they're in full pads. I'm just in like a tank top and like sweatpants.
Yeah, Tim and I were
And they were
wearing just shin pads, so all these kids knew we
just
meant business.
I would
But-
just skate forward, and these kids would come at me. So I'd brace myself and just destroy these 13-year-olds.
Okay, he would
into the
brace
ground,
himself
not on
and then
purpose.
actually kind of just drive these kids into the Tim was skating around, he would have the puck just he skating around the back of the net literally just to mess with these kids, and then they'd come and try and hit him and Tim would stiff arm him into the ice. It was awesome.
Tim's so
They don't-
bully.
I'm like no pads. These kids would take a run at me. So what am I supposed to do? Just feel superior? No, I gotta let them know their parents should have beaten them more. So I do it instead.
Jeez.
Oh, also, Tim and I were on the same team, so that was kind of
We kind of just played like assholes. The whole
Yeah,
time.
we kinda-
didn't pass
yeah.
any of the kids.
we were just kind of
They'd
huge
get
assholes the
they would
entire
get so
time.
sour.
It's right. We earned the
Well,
right because we
play-
were them at
we
one
play
point.
freeze. Yeah, sure. I mean,
Dude,
I
that's what
never
you
wore
get for trying to
pads.
play
I
with the
just wear
grown-ups.
cutoffs. Yeah, it's like this is
Yeah,
how
so-
the adult world works.
Yeah, so also, like you said, that was the last time we played hockey. That was like when we were 19, playing against these like 13-year-olds. So
Yeah, I'm still 19, but I know you
I
are
was one of
too.
the 4-year-olds.
yeah,
Yeah, you
well,
guys are youngins.
we're not gonna be
Yeah,
19
it's just
forever,
you're
Tim.
old.
Okay?
I'm Alec.
It feels like I'm already like in my late, like 60s because of all my creaky joints. My shoulders pop now.
My
My
hip
brain
cracked
doesn't work.
yesterday, and I thought that I
My
was like
vision's
90.
really bad.
Tell me about it. My vision's
I'm
been
really
bad
wrinkly
since I was
now.
in kindergarten. So
Really wrinkly now.
Yeah, I got all these wrinkles, wrinkly
Tim's,
faces.
his tits are sagging now. I don't even.
Boy, let me tell you about my crow's feet and varicose veins.
Let me tell you about how my
Alec,
hip cracks.
Alec, you were never good looking, dude.
My
to be fair.
gout.
My God.
I got
I
gout.
I just got rid of my shingles the other day.
Oh goodness.
My
Yeah, my erectile
hepatitis C.
dysfunction has been really bad for a long
Okay, Tim, I
time.
actually have that, so that's not funny.
My
Probably
It's
hepatitis
kind of
do.
funny,
C
Sam.
from having
F
like
you.
my
It's kind of a
hepatitis.
joke. Sean.
God damn it. My hepatitis C because like 1 in 6 baby boomers have it.
Oh, I
God damn,
remember
that would
how.
have been funny.
Wait, you're
Like
a
10
baby
minutes ago, I
boomer?
was trying to say it.
My crippling
If you were so
alcoholism.
beta and just talk
My crippling
talk so
alcoholism.
quietly.
I don't
So
know how
let's
to
see.
respond
How
to that.
else did? Let's
That
see.
hurt my
So,
feelings.
let's see.
All right,
Sam,
I'll
what
just
was your
talk.
earliest?
So yeah, there's a.
Sean, did I say you could speak in
Sam,
my
what are your
presence?
what are some of your earliest memories of us?
I remember in like after 5th grade, you had that 5th grade party, like to celebrate everybody. At your dad's house.
Oh,
It was
haha!
fun.
I remember that.
Hi,
I
Antonio.
wasn't
I'm trying to tell
there.
a story here, so just
Actually,
give
I
me a
don't
laugh.
remember that either.
Yeah.
It wasn't at my dad's house, was it?
Yeah,
No.
because you had a pool.
Oh, that wasn't
The
5th grade. That must have been 8th grade, right?
No,
Eighth,
the
eighth grade was at your
one
mom's
was
house.
yeah, it was at your mom's.
Oh, then that might have just been like one of my first birthday parties, I remember. Okay. I remember a
remember going to
birthday
that.
party where I was like the only one in our school who had like a BB gun, I guess. And so like for a birthday party,
Bullshit.
we just like shot the BB gun or whatever. I remember being so cool.
No, Alec, that
Man.
couldn't have been your birthday because your birthday is, in the winter.
Yeah, it was probably then.
No, because we were swimming. It would have been cold as shit.
No, we're not talking about the same time.
Yeah, we're not. So.
Cool story, guys.
It was like one of the first times that like we hung out as with, and then afterwards that summer, I remember going over to your house like every week and playing Black, like we talked about in the other podcast,
Oh yes.
or did we? I don't remember if we did.
Oh,
No,
then,
we
like,
You
definitely.
did.
Oh,
You did.
I just remembered, cause since Alex's mom lives in the same neighborhood as me in high school, before we could drive, Alec would just run to my house. And like the one time he was running and found a dead squirrel. And
That was like a year and a half ago.
that
You were
was
like an adult. I
That
Dude.
remember.
might have.
no, it was. I think it was. I want to say it was sophomore year at
Was that one of-
least.
I totally forgot about that. That's
And
hilarious.
so he picked up this dead squirrel. He wanted. I think what you wanted to cut the tail off because your cat's like playing with him or something.
Yeah, squirrel tails make fantastic cat toys.
So he picks up this dead squirrel and just keeps on his
Eats it.
run to my house and sees this guy who I guess looks vaguely like me. So he starts
Oh no!
sprinting towards this guy holding a dead squirrel out in front of him. And then he gets close enough to realize it's not me and just kind of like veers off and like slows down a little, still holding this dead squirrel just out in front of him.
Oh man, I totally had thought you had come to meet me like halfway. Oh man, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Mm.
Okay, I will preface this though. I think, in my opinion, it makes it better. It might not for you guys, but like this squirrel had like just been killed because it was basically still warm, and it wasn't pancaked to the ground. because its tail was still like good to use, and that's why I got it. I don't know. That probably doesn't make it any
That
better, but
cleans everything up.
Oh,
Yes,
well,
we
that
can.
explains why you sprinted at a stranger carrying it.
yeah.
Dude, I got this. Oh, Alec,
But I
actually, I
did
have a
get the
great
tail.
question.
Yes, you did. And then we actually went and found that tree behind my house that produces apples. And then we
Yeah,
got the apples.
yeah, the
produces
apple
squirrels.
tree.
No.
We
No,
found the
that was
tree
good.
behind my house that
we
produces dead
crushed.
squirrels.
We crushed those apples. What was that, Sean?
I actually have a question for you,
Oh
since you're
no.
into animals and such. So, earlier I discovered there's this bobcat nest out behind my house.
Are you sure? How do you know it's a bobcat nest?
Well, we seen bobcats going in and out of it. So,
Really?
yeah,
Well,
That's
that's
gotta be
that's
too
really cool. Because
yeah.
like,
So, can I kill them?
no.
They're not vermin?
Why? Well, first of all, why would you want to kill it?
Because they keep
Second,
attacking my
Pelts.
cat.
For their pelt.
Dude, I feel like your cat would not lose to a bobcat.
Okay,
what are you
I don't.
talking about? Any wild
Bobcats are
animal
twice
could
the
kill any
size.
domesticated animal.
Dude, not
I
Sean's
mean,
cat.
yeah, my cat's pretty bad A,
Sean,
but bobcats are
Sean,
also like,
yeah.
large. They're bigger than
It's
fox.
just a bigger version of
They're
your
not
cat,
bigger than
basically.
fox, but they're basically the same size.
Oh
They're bigger
yeah,
than
right. Fuck
your
me, right?
cat, than your
Miguel,
domesticated pet
here's
cat.
I
Alec
mean,
knowing
my cat
everything.
It's
though
the animal
lives
channel here.
outside. Like
Right.
he
That
tracked. He
doesn't.
jumped on a turkey.
Right.
He's stalked deer. I've watched him.
Right.
Guy, is a madman.
If a bobcat wanted to
Well,
kill your cat,
raccoon.
he could immediately and easily.
Tiger killed.
Unfortunately,
I remember Tiger killed a raccoon once.
Holy
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's always fighting the snakes. I've seen him. He just beats the shit out of them. He doesn't like use his claws. He keeps his claws in
Yeah,
and just
bops them.
swats their head until they die. It's horrifying.
Cats
He'll
are
strike.
terrifying.
It's
Yeah.
horrifying.
He'll just sit in front of it and he'll strike and he'll just whack it across the face. And he does that about 100 times until they're just dead.
All within like a millisecond too. It's just like a blur.
Yeah. Like imagine just getting the crap slapped out of you until you die.
I literally couldn't think of a worse way. But no, Sean, has your cat ever caught like bats? Like cats are incredible.
Yeah, I mean he gets birds
Yeah,
and
my
such
cats
all the
are
time.
incredible.
Yeah.
He brought
one of our
a full-on
sir.
rat. No, you're good. There was a
Yeah.
full-on rat on my front porch one time. That was kind of horrifying.
Cats are like the most destructive animals that we've brought, like that we have basically.
Yeah.
They like kill everything, and they kill it for fun too, because obviously they don't need it for food if they're our pets.
Mhm.
That's kind of a sad thing because, like what I was saying, like ground nesting birds suffer terribly because of it. Like you know what a pheasant is, right?
Yeah.
They used to live there. Like when my dad was younger, he'd go pheasant hunting there. He grew up where we grew up. There used to be pheasants there. There isn't anymore, obviously, because they're also another ground nesting bird. And yeah, if they're on the ground or even flying, cats freaking kill them. My cats, my cats have caught bats out of the air before.
Yeah.
It's like a bat literally never touches the ground outside where a cat would be, and yet they can still catch them. Like cats are insane.
I remember
yeah.
one time. Oh, go ahead, Tim. You had something to say?
Yeah, when I used to have Tucker, a little tuxedo in like middle school. One morning we went out and there was, I kid you not, it was like a fruit bat. This thing was like almost as big as Tucker, and I don't know how he caught it. I guess it was in the lean-to overnight, but he had just torn the wings off this thing, and it was just like all over the yard. And Tucker is just like he's like a little bigger than Stu he is now, but just ferocious, like to meow and just claw birds, and just kill it.
Yeah.
Basically everything. Just a bat, dude. It's kind of like.
Cats are metal.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of this cat.
Dude, I remember
They're
one time.
incredibly destructive to the native wildlife.
I remember one time I watched Tiger, my cat, sprint up an oak tree. Like no joke, 30 yards into the tree. 30 yards up. He ran up it and there was a hole in the side of it, and like I guess from like a woodpecker or something, and he just sticks his whole arm in there and starts beating around. And I don't know if he got anything, but he ended up coming right back down. He didn't get stuck or anything. The guy is incredible. He ran up it too. It's not like he like climbed, you know. He just ran up this tree.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, you know what? I got a good story here. So speaking of my cat and vermin, um, or whatever you call them, varmints, vermin, whatever. And
Same thing.
yeah, so I was in my house. Actually, I'm always in my house, and the last like probably 2 or 3 months, I'll be in my bed like getting ready to go to sleep, and I'll start hearing noises. All right, it'll sound like chattering, like, and I'm it kind of freaked me out, right? I'm like, man, what the heck is that? Then one night, I hear it real loud, right? And it's like right around me. I don't know where it is. I got my lights out. I end up deciding, well, screw it. I gotta go to sleep. I got work tomorrow, so I start to doze off. I wake up to something straight up touching my leg. It brushes my leg and runs off. And you hear it scattering across the floor. I'm like, holy shit. I run and I turn the light on. Nothing. I can't find it. I don't know what it is. So for the next like 2 weeks, I'm telling my parents this. They're like, oh, you're probably just overreacting. It's just in your imagination. I'm like, all right, I'm not like 8 years old saying the house is haunted. All right, I'm not like, mommy, there's a ghost. I'm saying there's live animals in my room. There's something needs to be done about this. So finally, after like 2 weeks, right, it gets worse and worse, and I start seeing things out of the corner of my eye, like in the dark, seeing movement, and then I hear like it sounds like sawing, like through wood, real slow. Every night when I'm laying there, it sounds like something sawing through wood. It's like that. Can you hear it?
Like gnawing.
Yes, exactly. And it's right
Yes.
by my bed. Finally, one day, we're sitting in the family room watching TV. All of a sudden, we hear my cat, Tiger. He's going, meow, and he's making like a weird meow. My mom goes, why is he meowing like that? He doesn't meow like that. She goes out and she goes, oh, he has something. In the house, he has something. So my mom chases him upstairs, goes into their room. He drops out of his mouth a baby squirrel. I go and I pick it up. We figure it's dead, but I pick it up and I put it outside, and it immediately gets up and sprints up this tree, and that's when I realized that's what all this gnawing and stuff probably is. And there are apparently squirrels living in my attic, and they come down through the vent into my room. And so I've
That's
just
pretty
been living
cool.
with squirrels, and of course nothing's been done about it. So they've been in there for like the last 2 months, and it's still a little
Sean, you
bit
better hide your nuts.
unsettling, but
Yeah, but hide your nuts.
yeah, yeah. Like they're
Or
trying to
not.
get through. They keep trying to. I know it. I know they're trying to break through my drywall, and one of these days it's gonna happen, and there's gonna be a battle on our hands.
Yeah, you're gonna need a little bit bigger than mousetrap. You're gonna need a full blown rat trap for those things. Oh,
I'm gonna need a
Sean,
freaking
also to answer your question,
bear trap.
Bobcat is their season is totally closed from 2018 to 2019. So under no circumstances are you allowed to shoot them or
Yeah,
trap
you
them.
can. Just get yourself a crop damage permit in a place that you can't grow crops.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna stop me?
A crop damage permit for his backyard in which he can't even grow grass because it's all trees anyway.
Dude, once he was trying to start a corn farm, but
It would, yeah, it would be a
Crop damage from a predator.
Yeah,
they keep eating all my corn.
this jerk bobcat.
Just plant one stalk of corn
Bobcats
that
are
doesn't
cool, though.
grow correctly and be
Cool.
like, yo, they keep taking it.
I don't know. I have no urge to shoot a bobcat, honestly.
Either.
But yeah.
do I. But I'd do it.
Okay.
Story.
If one got up on my grill, you better believe I'm gonna pop that motherfucker. I'd put a cap right in their ass. Texas heart shot.
Oh no.
You
Yeah, it'd
you
definitely
spray
be
that
up in your
thing, man.
grill if you had to shoot it in its ass.
It's like, yo, what the hell, man?
Yo, what the fuck, dog?
Oh
It's like, have you
man.
guys seen that movie? Fuck, it's with John Candy, and
I don't
in
know
it,
who
Great
that
Outdoors.
The
is.
Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors.
yes,
Yeah.
The Great Outdoors, where he
Oh yeah.
shoots the bear and just completely removes every follicle of hair off its ass.
Oh my gosh, that movie. Yes. Okay, I do know what
Yeah,
you're
Oh,
talking
that's a good
about.
one.
and it runs away.
the what is it? The 96er, the old 96er,
Yeah, the old
96-ounce
96er.
steak. 96-ounce steak he has to eat.
Mr. Thick Dick to Mr. Urinal Cake.
Well, there you go. He did it. All of our food's free. Oh, it ain't done. What are
There's
you
still
talking about? There's nothing on that steak but gristle and fat. Well, that's meat. He just has to eat the gristle.
uh
Oh man, good stuff. Good times.
I love that movie.
Here it comes.
Horny Smokey's
But
cousin Horny.
Nice.
My favorite cartoon growing up.
One time there was a when I still had an above ground pool, there was a groundhog that like was, burrowing under it. And when I had my dog Mishka and we had just gotten Diamond, so Mishka went down and was like freaking out trying to like dig this thing up. She ended up getting in like a fight with it and it was pretty rad cuz that thing was like latched on her neck and she was like jumping around like beating the crap out of this thing. It was awesome. But anyway, so she was outside trying to dig that thing up, and Diamond was tied on a leash up on the deck, and my mom had just stepped inside because I think she had something on the stove. And when Mishka started trying to find that groundhog, Diamond freaked out and was like, "Yo, I gotta get down there now." So jumped off of my deck, but the leash was not long enough and she started dangling from my deck.
Holy
Like
How high is your deck off the ground?
the part that she jumped off was probably like I want
It's
to say
high up because
I
you're on
want
a
to say
slope.
something
It's like
like 12, 13. Like there's no
that's
way.
exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you can't
you can't do that.
you would
this
probably
tiny dog.
I know, and she's a papillon, so literally not bigger than I don't know, I guess a microwave. She's smaller than a
Needless.
microwave. But like so she can fit through the bars that we have around my deck so things don't fall off of it, but she jumped through it and fell off of it. So she was dangling by her neck like freaking out because she was dying and also there was a groundhog that she really wanted to get to. So, yeah, she was just kind of hanging there, and my mom had just, luckily taken a look out our window, saw my one dog in a fight with this groundhog. It was latched on her neck, and my other dog hanging from the balcony. And so,
Holy.
so she runs outside and unties Diamond, and then, like, I think we ended up calling animal control, and my dog had to get, like, rabies tests and whatever.
Nice.
I remember we were working out in the garage one day, and there's this raccoon that comes up, and in the middle of the day, so it's a raccoon coming up in the middle
Oh,
of the
that's
day, so
not
it's
good.
probably rabid in the first place. But this thing's all mangy and scroungy looking. My dad's like, dude, we have to like go inside. This thing's gonna pounce. So
Right.
he comes up with the idea of shooting it with a shotgun while he's in a garage. Not a good idea in the first place. And he ends up missing and shooting the garage door. So there's just a big hole in the garage door now.
On brand for your dad, honestly. Yeah, I got a work story for you guys about a raccoon. Last summer at work during the day, going about my business, driving down the cart path, and I see this corpse of a groundhog and a raccoon actually eating it in the middle of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I stop my cart, and this raccoon looks up at me. I thought it was a rabbit at first, but then its eyes had like these red bloodshot rings around it. It was actually blind. I
Hmm.
knew where it was. And
Huh.
so I thought it was a rabbit for a while. So I called my boss over, and we're like up. It's like the raccoon's like below a hill, all looking down at it, and it's just staring at us. And they start eating, and they're walking in a circle. So we were a little confused why it was just walking in circles. So we call animal control. Sassy black lady on the line. She starts yelling at us. That's normal. That's normal. And she didn't want to come out and help us because it was like 100 degrees that day. Come out like a couple hours later. And so by this time, the raccoon had traveled halfway across the course, but not really in a straight line, kind of just all over the place. So she
So
goes
hold
over.
on.
She's like,
Can I ask a question real quick?
"Ugh."
So you
Yeah.
called animal control, said, "Hey, I think this rabid raccoon that's eating this dead possum is looking a little suspicious." And she said, "No," and just kind of, "Hey,
It's
that's
Brushed it
fine.
correct.
Don't
off.
worry about it."
My boss was like air
What
conditioned
use are you?
office because it was like 100 degrees. So like she finally comes out, and sure enough, it's this big sassy lady. Walks up to it and immediately turns and charges her. So she turns around and sprints away across one of our fairways as golfers are hitting balls. But the raccoon is, it turns out, this is how we figured out it was blind. It just runs right past her and turns around, runs in a circle, and then just kind of like turns around and just stops as just, it was just weird. She's like, oh, I think it's blind. And we're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. But at this point, she's like ready to have a heart attack. She's like, y'all got me all the way out here for this. It's like, well, thank you for your work. You can leave now. But the whole maintenance
Thank you for your
staff was like,
service.
and some golfers were sitting up on the cart path and watching her sprint across the fairway as this blind raccoon chases her across the fairway. I have a video. I'm gonna see if I can find it and send it to you guys. Yeah, that's my story.
So I just started playing Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2013.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I just bought the game like the other day and finally got a chance to play it. And I haven't played a Dangerous Hunts game since like I don't know, mid 2000s, like zero
Yeah.
zeros 2000s. And I remember back in the day, it was a great game. All right, you'd get tags and everything. You'd go out and like you're actually hunting. I gotta say, and of course, keep in mind this is but what do we know? So here's my opinion. This might actually be a game designed specifically for retarded people. This game is awful.
Okay.
There, I have spent the
Oh.
last like 45 minutes before we started this podcast. I was playing, and the entire thing. I mean, I killed probably 400 wolves, about 1,000 hyenas, like 50 or so water buffalo, a rhino, a hippo, an elephant. It's like you don't even get tags. It's like you go out there and every animal's just trying to attack you. It's a Call of Duty,
Yes.
but it's just
Yeah.
with animals. And I mean, it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie, but like I was, it's just so I can't
Over
believe how
the
much the
top.
game has changed. Yeah,
It's not a hunting game. Yeah, it's an
yeah.
action like thriller.
Uh-huh. Like I was expecting it to be like, I'd actually have to be like strategic and hunt, but it's just
Oh
like a
yeah, no,
path you're
absolutely
walking
not.
along and you're trying to survive. And um and I just did this mission where you get locked into some ancient temple, and for some reason you just have to kill about 1,000 baboons and the door opens up. Like I don't that doesn't seem too realistic to me,
No,
honestly.
yeah. It was I got one of the dangerous hunts games and I was like, nope, never again. Like their normal hunting games are like actually
Amazing.
fine,
Yeah.
but like
The
the
old
dangerous
Dangerous
hunt
Hunt.
ones is pretty comical, yeah.
Yeah, like the old one though, it was good. Like, cause it was like a regular hunting game, and then they'd occasionally like throw in like, you know, certain missions where it was like you're hunting a trophy, but the trophy was like a predator.
I
Or
don't
something.
think that was a Dangerous Hunts one. I think that was one of their normal ones.
Was it?
I think
It
so.
was so long ago. It might have
One of
even
the
been.
normal ones I had was literally just like that.
Okay, it might have been on PS2. It was so long ago.
Oh no, mine definitely were.
Long,
But
long ago.
yeah.
A place far, far away.
Let's
Sam's
see.
beating his dick.
Wait, what? Hello?
Well, that
Mm.
does kind of put us at an hour, so I think it might be time we can start wrapping things up.
Yeah. So let's talk about how much we hate Alec for a second.
Dude, okay,
Nice.
well,
Alec.
I love Alec.
Alec.
we could talk for another hour about
Alec?
how much we hate Alec.
Alec.
Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly,
when's the
Alec.
episode where we talk about how you guys actually like me?
Yeah, well,
Never.
hey,
Well,
okay, I called you my friend this episode. Let's not push it, all right?
Mm.
I would say that I would touch
Alright.
you
I admit
voluntarily.
your existence.
I
Okay.
recognize you as a human being.
I recognize you as existing.
Alec?
Breathing the same oxygen as me.
Nice.
Alec?
Alec? Alec?
Alec?
Alec?
All right, well,
Oh,
that is
that-
it for
Alec?
this episode then.
That
was-
certainly wraps this up,
That-
yes.
Yes, it
Sign
sure
off.
does. All right,
that was
well,
that was hold on.
no,
That was-
no,
that was-
no,
that
no,
was a,
no.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. That was an inside joke for all you nerds listening in here on YouTube. Just heads up. That's how you get
Yeah.
them back. You insult the fan base.
Yeah, plus we're not
The
going to
fan
explain the
base.
inside joke, so that
Wow,
was a
we are
really worthwhile
pretentious.
interjection, Sean. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, dick.
You guys don't subscribe. You're not
Alright, so I think
smart
it's time
enough
to end this,
subscribe.
guys.
Yo, sub and
Yeah, I
sub and
think we're
swipe up.
definitely.
All
You guys
right.
aren't smart
Well,
I
enough.
gotta
thank
take
you
a poop.
everyone for watching.
Swipe up for my
Hopefully
premium.
you enjoyed, and we'll see you guys next time.
Sayonara.